Two teams ready, they hope, to clear the final hurdle, the final Europa League hurdle, and the atmosphere is building up already.
Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of Football Talk. I'm your host, and today we have a lot to discuss about the upcoming Europa League second leg match between Sevilla and Juventus. This is going to be a thrilling encounter as both teams have a lot at stake and a lot of quality on the pitch. Here are some of the topics we will cover in this video. A preview of the second leg, where Sevilla will try to use their home advantage and their solid defense to keep Juventus at bay, while Juventus will look to unleash their attacking firepower and turn the tie around. An analysis of the lineups, where we will compare the strengths and weaknesses of both teams, their formations, their key players, and their injury updates. A prediction of the outcome, where we will give our opinions on who will win the match, who will score the goals, and what the final score will be. Sevilla are the undisputed kings of the Europa League, having won the trophy 6 times and reached the semi-finals for a record 5th time this season. They will face a tough challenge from Juventus, who are aiming to reach their first Europa League final since 1995 and win their 4th title in this competition. The first leg in Turin ended in a 1-1 draw, with Youssef En-Nesyri giving Sevilla an early lead and Federico Gatti scoring a dramatic equalizer in stoppage time for Juventus. Sevilla have a formidable home record in the Europa League, winning 24 of their last 27 matches at the Ramón Sánchez Pizjuán Stadium, including all 9 of their knockout ties when they played the second leg at home. Juventus have a mixed record away from home in the Europa League, losing 4 of their last 6 matches on the road, but they have scored in each of their last 10 away games in this competition. The key players for both teams are En-Nesyri for Sevilla, who has scored 4 goals in 6 Europa League games this season, and Paulo Dybala for Juventus, who has 3 goals and 2 assists in 7 Europa League appearances this term. It's remarkable that Los Rojiblancos are competing for a place in the final against either Roma or Bayer Leverkusen, considering how their 2022-23 season has progressed. Despite being on their 3rd head coach of the season, the Andalusians seem to be peaking at the right moment. Although a home loss to Girona at the beginning of the month ended Sevilla's 7-game unbeaten run, consecutive La Liga victories against Espanyol and Real Valladolid have propelled them to 10th place in the standings. Instead of worrying about relegation, they are now aiming for a top-half finish under José Luis Mendilibar. He also guided his new team to the Europa League semi-finals by defeating Manchester United in the quarter-finals. An 8th win in 12 games under their Basque coach would send Sevilla to Budapest on May's final day. Juventus stands firmly in their way and, after a season marred by controversy and underachievement, the Italian giants are now aiming to reach their first European final since 2017. That year, they were defeated in the Champions League final during Max Allegri's first stint as manager. Despite salvaging something from the home leg, Juve travels to Spain with history against them. They have only won 2 of their last 17 away games against Spanish teams in knockout competition, losing 12 times and keeping just 1 clean sheet. However, the Bianconeri have recently defeated Nantes, Freiburg, and Sporting CP in this year's Europa League. With their elimination from the Coppa Italia semi-finals and their uncertain Serie A status, winning in Europe represents their best chance for success this season. Although Juventus' 15-point penalty has been overturned, they still face punishment that could effectively strip them of a top 4 domestic finish when 2 verdicts are reached later this month. On the field, 3 consecutive victories over Lecce, Atalanta, and Cremonese have put Allegri's team in 2nd place in the standings. They are 8 points ahead of 5th-placed Milan with only 3 games remaining. However, that guarantees nothing under the circumstances. Therefore, they will be doubly determined to defeat Sevilla on Thursday and keep their hopes of winning silverware and securing a Champions League return alive. Rafa Mir may have scored a goal in the 3-0 victory over Valladolid, but he will have to make room for Youssef En-Nesyri, who is Sevilla's top scorer this season. En-Nesyri has netted 9 times in 13 games at home since coming back from the World Cup, with an impressive average of 1 goal every 106 minutes. He has also been prolific in the Europa League, scoring 3 goals in 3 games at the Sánchez Pizjuán Stadium. Lucas Ocampos could be back in action after suffering a muscle injury in the first leg, and he will support En-Nesyri in attack. Yassine Bounou will replace Marko Dmitrovic as the goalkeeper, as he usually does in cup games. Suso, Joan Jordan and Marchao are likely to miss the game due to injuries. Juventus will have to cope without Paul Pogba, who injured his thigh in his first start of the season on Sunday. The French midfielder had to leave the pitch after less than 30 minutes in the 2-0 win against Cremonese. Mattia De Silio and Leonardo Bonucci are also sidelined with injuries. Max Allegri rested some of his key players at the weekend, and he will make some changes for this game. Bremer, who scored his 5th goal of the season on Sunday, will replace Bonucci in defense. Angel Di Maria will take Pogba's place behind the striker, and he will try to replicate his excellent form in Europe. Di Maria leads Juventus in goals, 4, assists, 3, chances created, 21, and dribbles completed, 23, in European competitions this season. Sevilla possible starting lineup: Bounou, Navas, Gudelj, Bade, Acuna, Fernando, Rakitic, Ocampos, Lamela, Gil, and Nasiri. Juventus possible starting lineup: Szczesny, Danilo, Gatti, Sandro, Cuadrado, Fagioli, Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic, Di Maria, Vlahovic. Now prediction time. We think, our prediction, Sevilla 2-1 Juventus. Sevilla wins 3-2 on aggregate, given that Juventus doesn't usually perform well on the road and Sevilla has been scoring freely lately. The Europa League specialists can secure a place in the final once again. Despite introducing several young talents this year, Juve remains overly dependent on Angel Di Maria for creativity. Their in-form hosts will also have the support of a passionate home crowd cheering them on to victory.